So as you look at the site, at the time, last time I was looking at their official website, they just give you a very nice visual tour of what's involved in installing the distro. And it starts with the installer, and then you see the session, and everything is very, very simple and very clean. You don't see any command lines. People like to take screenshots with the command line somewhere to say, I'm kind of, a very geeky person, and I have the command line working to. Maybe that's because they use the import command to take a screenshot. I know personally that's true for me. Usually when I take a screenshot, I just do it from the command line, so I still have it open somewhere. But in their case, they do try to market it as a very easy to use type of thing, in the same way that Sabayon is trying to do so with Gentoo.
I mean, it's certainly from the reports from my friend who's using it, he's very happy. Hardware detection, out-of-the-box compatibility, absolutely fantastic. I believe, and I could be wrong here, Roy, so please correct me if I am, I believe it's an Italian distro.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
All right, it is.
That's the reason I think of it. When I think of it, I think about the Sabayon of the Arch wall, basically.
And I think it's only, I do believe as well, it's only offered in with KDE at the moment. So I think I don't believe they offer it on the site. I'm just checking the website. So there's another.
It's truly interesting what happens now with GNOME. It's similar to what happened with KDE around 2008, because you have the option of GNOME 2, you have GNOME 3 with GNOME Shell, and then you have the most widely used distro for the desktop, which is Ubuntu, and they go towards Unity, and then you have all these different kind of flavors of things. And in KDE, I think it's kind of consolidated now. You don't have many distros running KDE 3 or Trinity. Most of them will just run KDE 4 of some version, usually a high up version like 4.5 or 4.6. And I just read a review by Susan Linton, and she said that that KDE 4.6.1, which was released very recently, she said it's almost perfect. That was the headline. And she traditionally is a KDE user, but she wasn't too happy with KDE 4 in the past, but it's matured to the point where it's really, and I can attest to the same experience. I think it's just as good as always, and all the features I've ever used in KDE 3 are just basically somewhere in the menus. You just have to find them. Performance-wise, it's hard to judge because people use newer computers now. So, but I had KDE 4 running pretty nicely on a computer that's from around 2004, which is probably something you couldn't do with Windows 7 or.
I've had very limited testing experience with KDE on my systems, but I certainly never noticed any major performance issues when I was running it on an older machine. I think my ASUS, that was a 1.8 gigahertz machine, had no issue with KDE. I can't for the life of me remember what version I was running. That was many years ago. But no, it's. I think it gets a bad rap sometimes, and people claim it's very heavy on the hardware. I certainly don't think that's the case.
It used to be, and they tried to offload some of the work to the GPU now. And in the past, they had also some issues with the hardware not working too well in 3D. But we're talking about way back in 2008, and that's as you were talking before about why don't they just release it as stable? And people always say that's a perfect example. KDE is a perfect example of why when you release the 4.0 release, you might as well say this is a developer's only version. And if you're a user at home, you shouldn't be using that. It's more for developers to get accustomed to the environment. And things, as far as I can tell, also based on reviews, people are reasonably happy with KDE now. But the taste in some people's mouths, especially people who left KDE because of KDE 4, including, I think Linus Torvalds was trying 4.0, I think, before he moved over to GNOME. And that's because he thought it was ready. And he uses Fedora, so I suppose he had the latest and greatest of KDE, and that's just what he saw, so.
Well, what I think we should do now, right? Well, as I said at the beginning of the show, we've got 2 tracks today, and I'm finding I've got quite a skill in locating some real hidden gems on the internet. Creative Commons works, where the artists that have written the tracks want you to share their work, want to get known, want people to listen to their music. Hopefully you'll hear these tracks and you'll support them and maybe even help out with some of the projects that they're running. So if you're happy, Roy, what I'll do is I'll introduce the first track, and we'll have that, and then we'll come back and we'll do the discussion of the day, which probably won't be that long, but it's certainly a relevant topic from today's news. If you're happy. Right, well, this track is by a band called Section 8. As I said, all this music's released under a Creative Commons license. It's free to share, and the artists encourage you to share it. By Section 8, and it's from an album, Blackwing Butterfly. The track I'm going to be playing is quite relevant to what we've been talking about today in terms of names. We were talking about botnets and zombies, and this track's actually called Zombie Baby. If anybody is a fan of Metallica, it has a very similar sound to Metallica. A lot of their more modern stuff moved away from the heavier tracks that we heard in the Metallica Black album. So this will probably ring a few chords with people that are into that genre of music, and Metallica in particular, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. So without further ado, this is Zombie Baby by Section 8.
And I dig this hole for you, but you don't need to worry about being alone, 'cause there's room inside for two. I am an addict of lust, she holds a thumb on my obsession. Cold fingers on my skin, she talks dirty through. Her eyes are dark and faded. I'm in love with my zombie baby. With an appetite for flesh when it's big and warm, exhumed and covered in mud. One hand on the wall and the other ain't there. I cleanse myself in a shower of blood. I break the silence of trust, which feeds into her aggression. The chain neglect begins to rush. She is dirty 'cause her eyes are dark and faded. I'm in love with my zombie baby. I am so sick of waiting.